Iron Maiden's Run for Your Lives tour is starting in 2 days, and like many of you, I'm really excited. With every new tour, I'm always looking forward to discovering the set list, the stage show, the eddies, and just taking in the unique vibe of an Iron Maiden concert. So just before the whole thing kicks off in Budapest, I wanted to talk about a few things that are on my mind right now and that might be on your mind as well. On a personal note, Sarah and I will be seeing the show in Stockholm on June 12th, and then we're heading over to Norway to see Judas Priest on the 14th. It's also going to be our very first time visiting Sweden and Norway, so we're super excited for that. If you have any recommendations of things to visit, places to eat, or grab a drink, please do let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate that very much. And if you see me around, don't hesitate to come say hi. I'm always super happy to have the opportunity to thank you guys in person for your awesome support and encouragement. The big question with this tour is, what's the set list gonna be? They've been hinting at a very different set of songs this time around, and of course, we all have our own different ideas about what that might mean. So, what's the most likely scenario here? My guess is they're aiming for balance. Something special for us hardcore fans, but also plenty for the more casual fans and first-timers who are there for the big songs. So with that in mind, here are my predictions for which songs they'll be playing from each of the first 9 albums. From their self-titled debut, I'm thinking Prowler, definitely Phantom of the Opera, or maybe Remember Tomorrow, and of course, Iron Maiden. From Killers, I would say the title track is very likely, and I'm also leaning towards Wrathchild. Maybe Murders in the Rumor could make an appearance. That would be really cool. The Number of the Beast, perhaps 22 Acacia Avenue. I mean, I'd love that. Or maybe even Total Eclipse. Naturally, Hallowed Be Thy Name, and of course, Run to the Hills, since it's pretty much the name of the tour. From Peace of Mind, I'm thinking Sun and Steel could be a good one. It would be a great fit with the theme of the last album, Senjutsu, and it's a cool song that never got played before, so why not? Another strong contender for me would be Still Life. And of course, The Trooper. That takes us to Power Slave. Eliminating the more obvious Aces High and title track because they've played both of those fairly recently, 2 Minutes to Midnight is still a strong possibility, and my big hope would be Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Now, Somewhere in Time is a bit tricky because, they played half the album on the last tour, so I think the only 2 real options here are Deja Vu, or the more likely one, since Steve has alluded to it, The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. That being said, if I hear Sea of Madness, it might mean the end of the channel because I'm probably not going to recover from that. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, I'm saying The Clairvoyant, or perhaps, for a real treat, Infinite Dreams. Since they left it off the Maiden England tour in 2012, I really think they should do it this time. From No Prayer for the Dying, Holy Smoke, and Tail Gunner are the most logical choices, although the title track would be pretty cool, and could you imagine if they did Hooks in You? Adrian wrote that one, so how cool would it be if they did a more Adrianized version of it live? And finally, from Fear of the Dark, I'm betting on Be Quick or Be Dead as the opener, possibly Wasting Love, and of course, Fear of the Dark. A set like this would be really cool for us more hardcore fans. I mean, Sun and Steel, come on! How awesome would that be? Now, I know some of the longtime fans will say they're fed up of hearing The Trooper and Fear of the Dark, but to those of you who think like that, I will say this. It's probably not even remotely close to how much they're fed up of playing them. But the truth is, I play in a Maiden tribute band, and even we can't skip those songs. Metallica can't skip Master of Puppets, AC/DC can't not play You Shook Me All Night Long, and Iron Maiden are not going to stop playing The Trooper. That's just how it is. The stage show is supposed to be out of this world with more stuff than ever before and lots of eddies. Now, judging by the last tour, I have a feeling that this means there's going to be a lot of digital elements integrated into the stage design. Multiple screens, more projected images, and a bigger light show. I don't expect the stage to be an overly complex physical construction, but we might see more inflatables like they had on the Legacy tour a few years ago. And finally, let's address the big purple elephant in the room by the name of Simon Dawson. Now, first of all, I'm going to miss the hell out of Nico, and I don't know how I'm going to feel watching Iron Maiden with someone other than him playing drums. He's a huge part of the vibe and the energy of a Maiden show, and his drumming style is a fundamental element of the Iron Maiden sound. So him not being there is something I still haven't fully come to terms with. But if he can learn to live without being on the road with Maiden, and the band could learn to live without having Nico up there with them, I, as a mere fan in the audience, can certainly do my part in accepting this new reality and cheering Simon on every step of the way. So how's he gonna perform? Well, like this. Yeah, like I said, he's gonna be just fine. Believe me when I tell you, I have very little to say about this. A tight rhythm section is the foundation of any good band, so who better to play drums for Iron Maiden than the guy who's been playing with Steve Harris for over a decade? I'm sure many of you have heard or read what Bruce said about the band feeling a bit like they had Clive Burr back behind the kit for a moment, and I can totally see why that is. I find he's almost like a really perfect blend of Clive and Nico. He has that swing and fluidity, but also a very tight and steady sense of time. And I get the impression that he hits quite hard, so yeah, I'm sure it'll sound fantastic. Simon, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you have a blast up there every night. Anyway, with all that, I think the most important thing for me as a longtime fan is that not only is there a brand new Iron Maiden tour starting in 2 days, it's also expected to be their most ambitious show ever. And for a band that has been touring the world for 5 decades, I think the awesomeness of this fact can't be measured and it can't be overstated. I'm absolutely pumped for this one, and I feel very much like I did when I was going to see them for the first time 35 years ago. I'll be back to share my first impressions after the 2 Budapest shows, but in the meantime, let me know if and where you'll be seeing the band on this first leg, which songs you're hoping to hear them play, and any other thoughts you might have about this very exciting moment in Iron Maiden and heavy metal history. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for more licks of the beast.